welcome to Football Talk with Coach Matos. The time has come for the world to know that Season 1 is now here. And here I am, Coach Matos, ready to share my knowledge and my input with all of you. On the season premiere, we have Who Am I and how COVID has impacted the lives of many, whether that's through Pop Warner, high school, collegiate ball, and the NFL. I am very excited to share my journey with you, and I hope that we can grow this together. I am Coach Matos. I grew up on the south side of Almaden, and I played at Pioneer High School all 4 years under Mark Krill. We had a good team, but I learned a lot. I was very blessed to have offensive line coach Ken Orvik, who played at Stanford, teach me the ways to be. I also was blessed to play next to one of my good buddies, Patrick Walsh. He now works for the Broncos, and he was one of the best men that you could rely on to get the job done. After high school, I was blessed enough to be coached by Coach Marshall Spurbeck. He led Foothill to be one of the best teams in the state. A great staff that got the job done when it came to recruiting. We were all players willing to grind and get the job done, and that's what we did in our 2 years. At Foothill College, we were ranked one of the best teams in the nation. Although we struggled our first year, we were all freshmen, but yet we still beat San Francisco City College for the first time in 10 years at third place. I was able enough to move on to Sac State with the coaching staff, and then I ended up at Menlo College under Mark Kanapu. Great time, but that was where my career ended. I was blessed enough to receive an offer from Coach Tim Lugo, who is the varsity coach at Saratoga High School, to give me an offensive line coach for the JV job. I took that, I ran with it, and that's one of the greatest things I have in my pocket is to be able to do that, because that was the opening that I knew was my calling. After 2 years, I moved on to the varsity job, Coach Tim Lugo, and then after that, I coached 4 years of the JV team, beating our rival, Los Gatos High School, 2 years in a row, which hadn't been done in about 30, 40 years. After that, I moved on to Mountain View High School under Shelley Smith, who was my JV coach at Saratoga, and then I am now the defensive coordinator at Gunnarsson High School. I am excited for the new opportunity. I am blessed, and I feel like I have all this knowledge locked into myself that I can share with all of you. But tonight, it's not about me. Tonight is about COVID and how it's impacted everyone at all levels, whether that's Pop Warner, high school, junior college, and NFL. And I want to bring you my input on what I think should happen based off quotes I see, quotes I read, and quotes I take that I think will give you a different perspective on how I think this season should go. When we go through COVID, it's tough, right? You have one side thinking it's not possible. You have the other side thinking that a mask is possible at all times. So what do? We rely on sports. And the fact is football is the biggest attraction we have in America. And if there's no football, then we quite frankly, we don't know what to do. But what we don't know is what really is COVID, and can it really impact our game if we are not safe enough? I think we are safe enough, personally, but with the lack of with knowledge and the lack of information we really have about it, maybe we're not. So let's talk about a little bit about Pop Warner. I live in California, in the northern section, and every Pop Warner has been shut down. And although this quote I'm about to mention is a former player that used to play at Iowa, Jamie Murthy, I don't know if I necessarily agree with it, but I'm going to share with it. You can't play the game without close physical contact. Yes, I agree. I think of all the pile situations after tackles, It's not just the tackling and the contact. You want to avoid close contact breathing, which is every play. This would be a great year to figure out flag at lower levels with skill development. That is what he stated. Do I agree with it? 50-50. Why? Because you look at what sports is going on right now. Basketball, close contact. Is it hitting? No, but the hitting is protected by pads, a helmet, a mouth guard, a visor, and so forth. I think the pile situations after tackles. At Pop Warner, come on. Nobody tackles at that level unless they're really trained. You want to avoid close contact breathing, which is every play. I mean, the sports that are on right now, isn't that close contact? I mean, we're going to separate football from that, but yet soccer could be just as physical as football. Baseball, you're touching a ball every play, a different person. Soccer, it's just why are we singling out football right now? And then lastly, this would be a great year to figure out flag at lower levels with skill development. This is where I agree. And this is where I agree the development level has declined. Because I do believe that flag football is a great knowledge for many student athletes. And I feel like there's so much opportunity there to get better, to understand the game, a little bit more knowledge, to be a better coach. I feel like flag football has been way underutilized, and now we need it more than ever. Because if we're not going to do this contact thing, then flag football should work, right? Because if we're doing basketball, which is a person touching a ball every play, if we're doing baseball, it's the same thing if it's flag football. That's my feel on that quote. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but I do believe that it's the same as baseball and basketball. My next quote is from Omar Hassan, whose son plays at Navy Academy, so he knows a little bit about football. Quote unquote. How can any parent really allow their kid to play youth football when there's no financial resources there? Look at what happened with LSU and Clemson. Double-digit numbers of kids who got the coronavirus. Let's sacrifice youth football for 1 year so you can preserve it for the future. If you play it this year and the pandemic hits hard, I don't think a parent will ever do youth football again. Wow. What a quote, right? How many coaches hate to hear that? Let's take a year off of Pop Warner. Youth football. That can't happen. So many states, so many cities, so many counties rely on youth football. And besides California, many of these youth communities follow through. Whether they go to the games, whether they go to the practices, whatever they do, they're there supporting their kids. And it's because of financial. And I feel bad because some of these counties, they can't afford it. They really can't. Living in California, we're blessed because most of these Pop Warner teams, they can't afford it. And yeah, you got teams that can't. But is sacrificing youth football worth it? This is where I do believe flag football comes into play because it's less equipment and it'll save some money, which allows them to continue to play and continue to grind. I think it's tough for Pop Warner. A lot of these parents want it. You look at the different states. You look at Texas. You look at Florida. You can look at California, but these kids want it. Pittsburgh. I respect it. So you're gonna hold them back for something we don't know. I don't know. According to the stats of the USA Football Survey, with kids ages 5 through 14, 61% said that tackle football is a high risk during the pandemic compared to 30% who say the same about flag football. That's a joke. That's a joke. Continuing on. Meanwhile, 56% of senior level sports industry professionals expect youth sports participation rates for high contact sports like football to decrease after the pandemic. What? I mean, this has got to be based solely on California. There's no way you're gonna tell me you're gonna walk up to a Texas 80 and tell them the same thing. There's absolutely no chance of that happening. No chance. All this lower participation, I don't believe it. I think if you want to do it, then you start doing flag football leagues now. You start doing the flag football leagues now. That's how you do it. But let's be come on. I mean, come on, USA Football. You know you're better than that. You are way better than that. I do work and coach with a coach who does Pop Warner too, and he was on the field enjoying every minute of it until they came out and said it's canceled. So what are we doing to our kids? You know, we're setting them up for mental problems. Is it fair? Absolutely not. Is it their fault? Absolutely not. But I've realized that a lot of these kids need it. They need the sports because not only one do they love the sport, but two, they make new friends and they feel welcome. And here we are, not giving it to them. You know, it's tough. It's really tough. You know, if I was in high school at this time and I was still playing football, and this got hit with me, I did the football, wrestling, baseball thing, but I would imagine, you know, 2/3 of it be gone. I would have went crazy. I love football. Football gave me a way out. I deal with, you know, some mental issues, but football was my way to handling all that. I felt like an alpha male in football. I felt like I was the man and nobody can stop me. Which I think I think that's what you need in that age. You know, if you're playing football, you need to feel like the alpha male. And that's what football gave me. You know, this is a this is a quote on college football now. We're gonna move on to college football. This is a quote that I really like by Joe Likita, athletic director at Bishop Timon St. Jude. Guys in the NBA are in a bubble. They're undergoing daily testing in Major League Baseball. They're probably not going to allow students to go back to campus, but schools want kids to return to campus and play sports to make money, said Likita. You're telling college kids you're going to go back when it's not safe? This is a whole different subject than what it is for high school. High school, there isn't, no contracts, no money involved in any of this. Now you get to college. That's all it is. It's about the love. It's about the money. It's about a lot. And I I want to quote Randy Edsall coming out and saying he's gonna cancel this season. You know, I respect you for doing that. I do respect you for doing that. I mean, you haven't been relevant for a little bit now. You know, you were relevant the first time you coached at UConn. All these Power 5 schools, they need it for the money. That's what it's about. It's about the money. AAC, ACC, Big 12, they all need it. But let's be real. They need it as much as the viewers need it. The viewers go crazy for football. And although it's all going to be conference games, Why? Why do we care? It's football, right? America is football. That's what we base ourselves on. You can be a Power Five or a non-Power Five, but I don't know. I just feel like 2020 has been the biggest shithole of them all. Excuse my language, but I mean we're gonna go with the majority or where the big group goes, right? But a lot of these kids can't afford it. A lot of these juniors are about to be seniors this year. They need football because maybe they weren't recruited last year. Maybe they had a red shirt. Maybe they had a medical red shirt. Maybe they transferred from JC. Maybe there's always something. They need it. Is getting rid of non-conference games worth it? No. What's it? What's the difference between a non-conference game and then a conference game? Let the kids play. If you're gonna do a season, let them play. You know what I mean? I don't. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. I think it's crap. Does it come to the athletes? Absolutely. Coaches should have no say. But what about those athletes that aren't 4 or 5, 4, 3-star recruits that are sitting out because they know they can, when they can be getting pretty good 2-star recruits to go there and play through it? Because I mean, we know about these tests, but all these tests are mild. So what are we doing? We're gonna cancel everything? You're canceling people's careers here, lives. This is all they have. I don't know. I don't see any upside to the college year. I mean, I'm looking at the FCS division. Big Sky games canceled. Big South games canceled. Colonial, you know, Independence. It's just, what are we doing? We're allowing every other sport besides football. Why? I don't know. Because football is the money maker, right? That's what makes our country go round. So why are we not allowing this to continue? I don't really get it. So now we go to NFL football, and NFL gives a deadline for people to opt out. I'm just gonna go through this list. Let's go through the players in the NFL that have opted to sit out, and let's see which ones are really big name that could really impact a game. Sean Coleman, offensive tackle Niners, guarantee nobody knows. Josh Doctson, wide receiver New York Jets, I'm sure people know him. Malcolm Prejean, guard Cleveland Browns. Rashad Melvin, cornerback Jaguars. Yeah, people know him. Brad Seaton, tackle Bucks. Nope. Guarantee. Lucas Nyong, tackle Kansas City Chiefs. Nobody knows him. Albert Wilson, receiver Dolphins. Yeah, people know him, but nobody cares about the Dolphins anymore. Roland Milligan, safety Colts. Marvin Tell, cornerback Colts. Sam Beal, cornerback Giants. Russell Bodine, center Lions. Nobody knows any of them unless you're a die-hard football fan. And these guys won't. These guys aren't going to make an impact. So why does the NFL care, right? Because it's always next man up. Football is a funny thing, and you're always a pawn in the game. Whether it's the head coach, whether it's position coach, they'll find someone to get the job done. Travis Benjamin, well, he hasn't really been impactful for a while. Colby Gossett, Browns. Ukemi Elgwe. Marcus Gilbert, we know him from the Steelers. Offensive tackle Cardinals. Alan Hearns. So Miami's losing 2 receivers. Sky Moore, Andrew Billings, DJ Killings, Jeremiah Volohaga, Jordan Lucas. See, look at these names. I'm just going to find big names now. Juwan James, Broncos, tackle. Olawale, fullback, Cowboys. Oh, man. CJ Mosley, that's a big name. I mean, these guys are opting out. Why? Why? What do we know about coronavirus and football? All the other sports have been great. What do we not know that they're holding back about football? And I understand that some of these guys have parents they gotta watch, and they have families they gotta watch and take care of. But what are we missing here? Right? What are we missing here? I really don't understand. I'm a high school football coach, and these kids need us more than ever. This is their gateway to doing whatever they want, whether that's their scholarship, whether they're getting looked at, whether that's, getting girls. I'm just gonna be honest. A lot of these, I mean, I didn't have social media growing up, but a lot of these guys do now, and they need it. It's a self-esteem thing. They're hitting their prime and they need it. And us holding them back when we have no idea what the future holds for this, it's concerning because you took risks on soccer, you took risks on golf, you took a risk on baseball, you took a risk on basketball, and now you took a risk on hockey. And yet here we are, football, the one that makes the country the most money, and we're lost, and we're confused. Why? I don't know. I can't tell you that. But what I can tell you is football will be back. And I think it's going to be back a lot sooner than we think. I think there's a lot of people that want it. And I don't think it's going to change a face mask. I don't think it's going to change a thing around your neck to cover your mouth. It's going to change nothing. There's going to be no mask needed. I think football's going to be back. Because we as a nation can't afford it. Because whether that's through mental, emotional, spiritual, or physical health, we need football. We need it. There's a lot of people that need football, and this is their only way out. And we need to give it to them. But yet we're holding them back. Why? Why? All these other sports are not holding anyone back. Why football? Contact? Hockey's contact. Hockey's doing their own thing. Why can't football? I think as a coach, you need to continue to have Zoom meetings, continue to grind these kids, get them ready, get them prepared, because there's going to be a season. They need to know that there's going to be a season. Test them, quiz them, teach them, do what you have to do, because there's going to be a season. I don't see why there's not going to be a season. Parents, don't worry. You're in good hands. I don't think an administration or a coach put your kids in a position to fail. Is it sad? Absolutely. It is extremely sad. But there's nothing you can do. You have to go based off what the county, the district, and the administration wants you to do. And players, I really hope all of you are still training. Because this season is far from over. And I'm excited, and I hope you're excited to get this thing rolling once it's time. Once everything clears, it's go time. So now, if you guys could, like and follow my Facebook page. It's Football Talk Coach Matos, both on Facebook and YouTube. And moving forward, I plan on giving you a lot more videos, and a lot more insight of what it's like to be a player, what it's like to be a coach, and what it's like to be a parent. I hope you're excited, because guess what? It's go time. This virus can't stop anyone, not even me.